Chapter 3. Together. I feel like I know you, but this is our first time meeting. My intuitions tell me this is a new chapter in our very old story. Your eyes look familiar, and naturally I feel comfortable in your presence. I don't remember my past lives, but if I have lived previously, you were certainly there. If this is a new opportunity for us, let's make sure we do it all better than before. Don't look for perfect. Look for someone who is ready to be real. Don't look for beauty. Look for someone who your intuition gravitates towards. Don't look for no arguments. Look for someone who is ready to discuss things with gentleness. Emotional maturity does not create a flawless relationship. It just prepares you to better handle the ups and downs you're bound to experience while you learn to love each other well. Long conversations, tears, apologies, and embracing vulnerability are common when the love is deep. You can't build a relationship with someone who wants everything their way. A red flag is when you keep trying to find a middle path, but you repeatedly end up with less than what is reasonable. Someone who is insecure and wants all the control can't love you well. 3 undeniable green flags. They understand that their emotional history impacts how they show up in a relationship. They can embrace their emotions, but can also regulate their reactions. They do not expect that you will be happy every single day. The reality of relationships is that you are not going to be the best versions of yourselves every day. It is normal for there to be hard or slow days, moments when your past comes up strongly, and times where a lot of your energy is simply focused inwardly on healing. Preventative communication can reduce unnecessary arguments. When you take the time to let your partner know where you are in your emotional spectrum, you feel down, sad, happy, short-tempered, etc. It gives each of you the information you'll need to support each other well. Don't wait to be asked, how do you feel today? Volunteering the information, especially when you are in turmoil, can be so valuable to you both. It helps you admit to yourself what emotions are currently passing through you, and it gives your partner useful context for understanding your mood. This level of communication can uplift self-awareness and cut down on projection. Creating a culture of early communication within a relationship will not only invite greater vulnerability and depth, it will also help you to show each other loving support. What you need one day may be quite different from the next. It is important not to expect your partner to read your mind. They simply can't do that. Real love is about finding a middle path that you both feel good about. Healthy relationships will become more common because people are letting go of their hurt instead of projecting it onto everything they see. Healing is based on compassionately communicating with yourself. This skill transforms the way you approach your connections. Fear and old hurt can make it hard to accept the selfless nature of love. In its highest form, love is about giving, understanding, caring, and all qualities that arise when you can look at another in an egoless manner and act in their best interest. Someone will ask, if love is selfless, how do you go about taking care of yourself? The answer is that the love between two people must be in balance with each partner's self-love. From self-love arises the communication of needs and active commitments that help both feel nourished. Yes, love is about giving, but self-love is about doing what you must to enhance your inner light. It is about knowing your own limits. Treating yourself well is critical if you want to build harmony with another human being. The interaction between love for another and self-love should help form a balance where both people can aspire to be selfless, but at the same time are clear on what they need so that their personal thriving can be supported. 11 relationship goals. Act as a team. No manipulation. Honest communication. Handle conflict peacefully. Make time to relax together. Share decision-making power. Create space for vulnerability. Find joy in each other's happiness. Be open about your fears and goals. Let your healing deepen your connection. Try to understand each other's perspective. Elements of a healthy relationship. Personal transformation that is grounded in self-love and has greater inner peace as its goal will naturally teach you to love others well. On the journey to improve your own mental state, you will improve your ability to connect. Relationships are unique, but there are a few outstanding qualities that help them be healthy. Embracing growth. When both individuals have the courage and humility to see themselves as imperfect human beings who still have much to learn, there is a greater opportunity for harmony to enter the relationship. Harmony is possible when each person can own their mistakes and seek to correct them. Understand that friction is still bound to arise, but both parties can combat needless conflict by building self-awareness and resisting ego-driven narratives. Listening selflessly. It is important to develop both patience and presence in a relationship. Without these qualities, it is impossible to listen to your partner in an egoless manner. Both people have their own version of what is happening, and each individual deserves to be listened to. When two people can actively take turns listening to each other selflessly, with the sole goal of taking in one another's perspectives, it helps them build the understanding that is needed for harmony to arise. Understanding over winning. Normally, we seek to win arguments, but that framing creates a situation in which one person is bound to lose. Relationships should never be about domination. It is much healthier to approach conflict with the goal of understanding. When you understand one another and can meet each other in the middle, you won't be left with much to argue about, and it becomes easier to let go of conflict entirely. When understanding is the goal, arguments tend to be shorter and lighter. They can even foster a deeper connection. Supporting each other's power. Taking turns being the leader in different situations helps each individual express their power and talents. Partners normally have different strengths, so it makes sense that one person is not always in control of every moment. Sharing power is critical to creating a harmonious environment in which trust can flourish. Being able to live in your power creates a sense of freedom that we all need to truly feel at home. It is natural for relationships to include moments of monotony or simplicity. Similar to spending time alone, both of you peacefully accepting slow moments means you have healthy connections with yourselves. Appreciating the mundane aspects of life as a couple is a sign that you have both grown so much. Deep relationships will periodically need intentional rebalancing so that both people feel supported in their power and happiness. What worked before may not work well now because you both have grown so much. Be honest about what you need so you can create a more nourishing union. How do you get over a breakup? Let yourself accept what has happened. It is natural to feel sadness. What makes breakup harder than they need to be is our tendency to get stuck in imagining the past and craving what is no longer there. The only way forward is to keep bringing yourself back to the present moment. There is no set timeline or path to healing because each heart is unique. What you can do is work on your self-love. Give yourself what you have been seeking from others. Feed your needs. Connect with good friends and find joy in the small moments of life. Self-love is especially important because it is a gateway to letting go of the past. This is a good time to build new habits that align you with a more fulfilling life. It can also be helpful to reassess what you are actually looking for in a partner. More than anything, your own self-acceptance will make you feel whole. Let this be a period of healing and evolution that radically improves your life. The freedom you feel when you realize that you don't need their apology to move forward. You just need your own self-love and acceptance to let it go. Now you can let your intuition and higher standards lead you to connecting with people who are emotionally available and aligned. Instead of saying, "I am sad," reframe it to, "Sadness has temporarily appeared," or "Sadness is passing through me." Maturity in a relationship is when you can both be calmly grumpy at the same time without taking it out on each other. Sometimes moods become heavy without a substantial cause. Refusing to give your temporary feeling an unjustified narrative or any control is a powerful way to love someone well. Ask yourself, in what areas of your life do you find yourself clinging to control? How would being more open to change affect your relationships? Is there an unchangeable situation that you are working on accepting? What can you currently do to love yourself better? In what ways have you been living intentionally recently? You are not helping well if you are doing so to the point of exhaustion and burnout. Love doesn't mean giving until you have nothing left. If you are taking it this far, that's a sign that self-love is lacking. Tend to your own needs and return to balance. Find a partner who does not expect you to be constantly happy or high energy because they have the emotional maturity to embrace ups and downs. Relationships do not exist in eternal spring. They go through seasons in a way that propels your personal growth. Real love understands that moods fluctuate, especially when healing is helping you take steps forward. You both use communication during down moments to let each other know that heaviness is passing through your mind and to figure out the best ways to support each other. You have both decided to take the route of authenticity because that is the fastest way for you to truly shine your brightest and for you to deepen your connection. Relationships built on beauty and lust do not have the foundation for a long-lasting union. Much more than this is a need to build an enduring partnership. It is more substantial to fall in love with a person who is their mannerisms, their resilience and brilliance, the way they move about the world, the decisions they make, their aspirations and values, and most importantly, the way their being feels naturally right sitting next to yours. These qualities are not normally apparent on the surface. It takes wanting to know someone on a deeper level to fully appreciate how special they are. You may fall in love with someone for who they are in that moment, but mature relationships have space for each person to grow and evolve. The person you fall in love with initially will not remain the same throughout the entirety of the relationship. If the connection is strong and if your commitments have created a safe and rejuvenating home, then it won't be difficult to fall in love with each other again and again. Part of loving your partner is getting to know the new aspects of their personality as they emerge. Loving each other for who you are now instead of who you were then keeps the relationship fresh and focused on the present. They asked her, "What qualities should your partner have?" She answered, "Above all, the willingness to grow and enough self-awareness so they can truly love you well. If they are emotionally prepared for a real connection and ready for the deep healing that will bring you closer together over time, it will be easier to build a nourishing and vibrant home. Real love is a commitment to supporting each other's happiness. Conscious love." Relationships are not about constantly catering to each other. They are about growing together through the ups and downs. Of course, supporting each other's happiness is important, but relationships are not a never-ending blissful paradise. Nothing in life is perfectly pleasant all of the time. Detaching from the idea that every day should be high energy and joyful makes room for a deeper level of love. A relationship is meant to be a journey, one on which you are bound to come across the unhealed parts of yourself. A truly loving union is a truth-telling mirror. You will see through the rough parts of your ego and many of the areas where growing will help you become a happier individual and a better partner. Love is the eternal discovery of self-awareness and selflessness. It is the overcoming of ego and the healing of old wounds so you can turn outward and show up for yourself and others in a much more nurturing way. The deepest and most healing friendships are often shared between people who are very different from one another. What keeps a bond strong is each friend's embrace of personal growth. As they evolve and transform, the love and care endure because they do not fear change. You need to know when to walk away. If misalignment feels constant and harmony is rare, if their words are unreliable and the support you need to flourish is clearly not within their emotional capacity, no longer feeding a connection that is losing its energy is a hard choice. But it might be the exact thing you need to do to honor your self-love and personal growth. You know you have made serious progress when you encounter someone's rough emotions, and instead of letting their vitality consume you, you mentally affirm within yourself, I will not join them in their turbulence. Find a partner who increases your power instead of diminishing it. Complementing each other's qualities in a way that helps both of you shine brighter is an immense gift. You not only lend your strengths to each other, you also feed the spark that inspires evolution. The quickest way to squander a beautiful connection is attachment, meaning the craving to have things occur in a very particular way. Often, attachment is exacerbated by fears that stem from our unhealed emotional history. Tumultuous and unobserved emotions snowball into insecurities that strengthen the misguided idea that pursuing our attachments is the only way to create safety and abundance in our lives. Our hurt tricks us into thinking that the only way to keep love is to cling to it. Insecurity will manifest itself as control, which blocks the flow of real love. The truth is that only open hands can carry love well. Hands that are closed tightly cannot receive or give love. Love's closest synonym is freedom, which means that love is not something that can thrive in a constricted environment. Love needs space to stretch, expand, and flow. A common fear is that without the constraints of attachments and expectations, love will never last. Love between two people does require a middle ground where both can meet, but attachments cannot provide this space because they are far too rigid. Healthy love creates its middle ground through calm communication and voluntary commitments. Commitments are mutually agreed upon actions and ways of being that both partners feel good about. They work because they are simultaneously sturdy and flexible. When two partners decide that their needs or wants have shifted, they can shift how they show up for each other in the relationship. Harmonious partners align their commitments with their growth and with their support for each other's happiness. Find a partner who realizes how their emotional history impacts the way they show up in your relationship. They don't need to know themselves perfectly or have healed all of their old hurt. They just need enough self-awareness to see where their past is getting in the way of loving you well. They know that rough emotions from the past have a way of twisting the mind so that it stirs up unnecessary arguments. Together, you lean on honesty with yourselves and each other to help you through difficult moments. You support each other whenever old pain needs attention. You wholeheartedly agree that loving each other deeply and healing yourselves should be your top priority. Connections often break under the weight of unresolved trauma and poor communication. Old hurt creates distance between partners and makes it hard to see each other clearly. Without selfless listening and vocalizing your vulnerability, it will be difficult to deepen your bond. If they are constantly projecting, blaming others for their own emotions, and not interested in personal growth, then it will be tough to build a healthy relationship together. Connection is not enough. Partnerships also require a certain amount of emotional preparedness. When you can't deal with your pain, you suppress it or project it. The hurt you carry darkens what you see. Falling in love with the wrong person and choosing not to love the right person are common situations that are not talked about enough. Cravings, old hurt, and dense conditioning can confuse the heart. Sometimes it takes years to fully realize that. What you see on social media can give you unrealistic expectations of what a healthy relationship should be. You're not going to be your best every day. You will sometimes say the wrong thing. Communication isn't always clear. You won't always agree. Things don't have to be perfect for the relationship to be profoundly fulfilling. Love can be tough to navigate when the mind is constantly craving more. Craving often blocks us from seeing the incredible person standing right in front of us. Craving also disconnects us from gratitude. Emotional maturity is not handling everything on your own or being beyond your emotions. Emotional maturity is feeling tough emotions without feeding them or projecting your tension onto others. Find a partner who can match your emotional capacity. If they can feel the depth of their personal ups and downs without running away, they will be able to show up in your relationship during moments of both victory and struggle. When partners know how to meet their own emotions with presence, there will be more harmonious understanding between them and less knotted up confusion. The way each partner meets themselves as an individual is reflected in the compassion and patience they offer each other. Neither partner has to be perfect or have it all figured out. What makes it all work is that the love between you is not alone. It is enhanced by your commitments to grow, let go, heal, and unbind what no longer serves. Strong relationships are not about getting it right every single time. They are about embracing the fact that each person has a lot of growing to do and loving each other through the process. You both handle conflict by trying to understand each other instead of being combative. The connection brings you together, but the emotional maturity is what makes it work. It is not about finding a partner who is fully healed. It is about finding someone who is not afraid of their emotions. A person who does not suppress what they feel and can gently be present with their inner ups and downs will have a foundation of emotional maturity. One of the most important skills to develop in a relationship is knowing when to step back and give your partner space when they are having a tough time, or when to step up and give active support. The type of love they could use to help them through their process will not always be the same. Give support, but don't try to fix everything. Embrace growth, but don't expect perfection. Have boundaries, but change them as needed. Have determination, but rest and relax as well. Allow connection, but build with mature people. Be positive, but let yourself feel hard moments.